Obviously, buying a smaller homestead costs less money. Obviously, fencing a smaller homestead costs less money. But today I want to tell you 3 things that I didn't expect, ways that we've saved money with having a smaller homestead. So the first one has to do with our electric fencing. We have the milk cows and we have her calf, and we have electric fencing that we use to keep them in one place. And we move the electric fencing so that we can do rotational grazing across our whole property. And everybody talks about the rotational grazing and electric fencing, and everyone talks about the portable solar chargers and what a useful tool they are. And they are super useful, and they're super expensive. So because we only have about 5 acres along this side of the creek where we rotate our cows through, it is a small enough area. We electrify our fence with just a standard plug into the wall fence charger. This is the charger that we have. We got it from Premier One, and it plugs right here into the wall. And then we have our fence line and our ground line, and they just both go out a hole. This is our garage. They both go out this hole, and they come out the side of our garage. Our fence kit that we bought from Premier One came with 100 feet of insulated wire. So we have 50 feet going off this direction to the center of our homestead, and it ends in this grounding rod right here. Gonna be such a good little mouser, aren't you? You're gonna catch all the gophers. Good job, good job, good job. So the other half of the 100 foot goes off this direction straight out to our fence right here and attaches right here. So our charger hooks on right here to electrify this fence, and then we have lines running this direction. And anything that we attach to these lines is then electrified. So here we have the chicken net, the poultry netting. These are the Delawares and the Mystic Morans in our movable poultry net right now. And all you have to do is connect these with one of these, we call them jumper cables. Maybe that's what they're called. With these jumper cables, and that net is electrified. So sometimes we have the cows over here, and then we had the cows back here, and then we moved them this direction, and now they're that way. And then we will also get them over here and over here behind the orchard. All we have to do to have an electrified pen down here is to have it connected by one strand back to the house, to where the charger is, right inside this door. So the next issue is water. And we have water up on the back side of our house, an outdoor spigot, faucet, hydrant, an outdoor hydrant. And so obviously we can bring the hose right here. Standing here at the cow water, the pig water is all the way back here along the fence line. And we don't have water out there. So we could pay a bunch of money to put water lines all the way out here, or it's not actually that difficult to get a hose out here. It's multiple hoses, but a handful of hoses, and we didn't have to pay to trench water out to the corners of our property. And because our property is small enough, then we can get a hose all the way out there without too much trouble. So the last benefit and reason why buying a smaller homestead is cheaper and saves you more money than a larger homestead is in preparing soil. As soon as we moved out here on the homestead, everyone kept telling us, now you need a tractor, now you need a tractor, you need a tractor. And as much as Jeremy would love to have a tractor, we don't actually need a tractor. I'm not farming 30 acres of soybeans. I am doing garden plots for preserving food for my family. So when your total cultivation is less than a couple of acres, you don't need a tractor. As fun as that might be, all you need is a broad fork. A broad fork is a tool that was developed by farmers in France at the turn of the century. Well, the turn of the last century. Prior to the turn of the last century. I'm not a historian. It is used for preparing soil. We are doing no-dig growing here, which anyone who actually does no-dig knows that that's a misnomer. There is some digging that happens, especially when it comes to things like potatoes. But the idea is that the less soil disturbance, the less drastic the soil disturbance, the better. The more that the soil is able to be a healthy organism in and of itself that helps your garden grow healthy as well. So this spring, we used our broad fork to lift up some soil, to prepare some soil to plant our blueberry plants. And it was pretty tough out there in the field where we had done nothing last year. The broad fork tines go into the soil and lift the soil a little bit just to add some air space, to add some space for water to get down. It helps improve the soil over time. This spring, when I came into this area of the garden to start preparing it for planting, and I was broad forking in here for the first time, but after I had gardened here last year and after I had covered the entire plot with leaf mulch in the fall, it was amazing the difference of broad forking in here. Broad forking helps improve the soil over time and actually gets it to a place where you need a tractor even less. It's just easier and easier to work in the soil as you work it with the broad fork. So you may remember that I did till up in this area to get it started last year. And then I've layered on compost and other amendments, and we put down cardboard for the paths and wood chips for the paths. But we did no tilling at all this year. And there's more weeds than I would love, for sure. But like I say, that's only going to improve over time. The better the soil improves, the easier it is to keep it weeded. The weeds pull out really easy from the when I was broad forking this spring and pulling out weeds, they came out so easy from the soil in here. So that is one more reason why having a smaller homestead has some unexpected financial benefits compared to having a larger homestead. I hope you found these facts interesting. I love sharing the things that we are learning here on our homestead. I've been gardening for 20 years, but we've been on this particular homestead for just 1 year at this point. If you want to see the video of what our homestead looked like 1 year ago when we moved in, click on this video.